Okay, great. This is episode 1 of 5 of Hearts of Wulin for April. And this is with the Gauntlet online community. Can go find more games on gauntlet-rpg.com. I think is the website. Could be wrong. Someone could correct me. And people play a lot of games, a lot of different kinds of games. So if you're interested in playing RPGs, especially online, then definitely go check it out. This game is a game of wuxia melodrama, and yes, I will get into more details about like what is wuxia, what is our setting and tone, and so on and so forth. After, oh, I forgot to include a cats. Right, that's what I wanted to do. I'm gonna copy and paste up cats for y'all because we're going to go through them, and then like through doing that we're also going to do safety tools. But first let me find excuse me. So I have a list for cats that I'm reading off of, and then I'll put it in the folder that you also have access to afterwards, so you can take a look at it as well. So the concept of this Hearts of Wulin is this is a game about martial artists living out their very tangled relationships while trying to hold true to their ideals and dramatically kicking ass. It's a lot about like emotional entanglements uh and also fighting, lots of fighting, maybe dramatically dying if you choose. The aim of this game is to have fun complicating each other's characters' lives and build each other up to dramatic moments. And the tone is high drama, but with a degree of self-seriousness. So members of the Wulin, which you will all play as, take themselves very seriously. And the amount of farce that occurs in the game is up for discussion at the beginning of the first session, which is the session. In terms of... Oh, any questions so far? Nah, okay. Subject matter. So topics often explored in Hearts of Wulin are, for example, the struggle between duty and desire, duty and personal honor, honor and desire, and then also the tension between familial obligations and friendships, and topics that people are particularly interested in exploring is also up for discussion at the beginning of the first session. So if there's anything that you're like, I really just like want a story of like where someone has a lot of um, struggles with like familial obligations, yeah, totally just say that and then we can do it. And if someone else is like, I really want one where it's I really wanted do like intense political intrigue like what I did before when I was in a game with LOL, that is also a possibility. So this game has a lot. Now what should I'm going to give a primer on the wuxia genre and also like the setting of this game. And then after that, we're going to talk about how much magic we want in the game, and then we'll also touch on safety tools. So the wuxia genre was... I did some more research on this recently, and it's historically it historically became a literary genre and like in the middle late middle part of the Qing dynasty, so maybe around like mid 1700s to early 1800s. That was when a first collection of stories was published, talking about like knights errant going around and like kind of like maintaining justice in like they're almost like Robin Hood-esque figures. And then there was like a revival in the 50s from in Hong Kong that kind of like really solidified the modern idea of what the wuxia genre is. So all of those like kung fu skills, like physics defying kung fu skills, came from the 50s. And it's like the wuxia wu means martial, like martial things related to like martial arts. So that's wu, and then xia is like the knights errant. So wuxia is like basically the knights errant who have martial skills, and that's the genre. And the world that they inhabit in is called the Wulin world. So again, Wu is the same character, and Lin means forest. So this is the forest that we all reside in. And this game is going to be set in the Wulin world. And the way the Wulin world works is that it exists in conjunction with the imperial structure. So like the emperor, uh, and all of like the official societal structures like exist. So for example, like local magistrates, and then um yeah, so laws and things like that, they exist, but they don't necessarily impact the lives um of people who live in the Wulin world. The Wulin world is kind of its own excuse me, it's its own it subculture and society. So it has its own rules and its own values, and it also has its own social structure in terms of like who you like. It has its own leadership, and the major values that matter to the Wulin world are: one, having face. Having face means you're maintaining your reputation. So in this world, like everyone's reputation, it's almost more important than yourself. So like whatever reputation people have of you or of the sect or party that you belong to. There, I think there's another word or school that you belong to is it really will just affect everyone's impression of you. And uh, a lot of times, like maintaining that is more important than doing something that you want, that you personally desire. So, like for example, in a situation, someone is like, "Well, your sect can't fight and is very sneaky and only uses poisons. So, like, that's my insult to you." And you can be like, "Look, I'm just here. Like, I'm just trying to have dinner at this tea house. Like, literally chill." But you gotta maintain the you gotta have face for your sect. Like, you can't just let people insult your sect. Like, that's then that would just solidify what everyone thinks. It's like, "Oh, yeah, they're just cowards. Like, they can't even, they can't." It's so it has, like, a lot of, overlap with ideas of toxic masculinity. But anyway, this is this world. So then you have to kind of be like, "Okay, fine. I'm gonna insult you back, or I will fight you," right? So that's kind of the idea of, like, maintaining face is very important. And another thing that is very important is respecting social structures. So, for example, like if someone is older, generally you would respect them more. And also, if they are higher up than you in your school. So, for example, if someone is your teacher or master, it's another way of addressing them. You generally respect them, even if they're not necessarily worthy of respect, even if their actions don't always warrant it. Like a lot of times, you still give them that bit of um, outward obeisance because that's like the kind of Confucian thought that permeates a lot of like Chinese society, including the wuxia genre. And then the third thing is staying keeping your promises. So if you say that you'll do something, or if you say that you won't do something, it's very, very important to keep that, keep your word, or else that will very severely impact your reputation as well. So these are kind of like the main things. And again, like the empire exists and the imperial structure exists, but they don't always matter to these kind of stories. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. Tonally, the way that people I've discovered is fun for people is sometimes like not when you're like talking, it's fun to try to maybe if you were to think of like Victorian England, kind of the way that people would speak, which is that you don't speak directly about your emotions. You you don't have to like really go into like really flowery speech. Like you could, for example, if someone's hosting you, or if you're like in a situation and you're like, I'm very clearly displeased with what with you. You can be like, this tea is cold, right? That's kind of like an indirect way of being like, son, you done goofed. But you don't always have to do that. But I think a lot of times it's more fun to try to speak in that way where you're not directly expressing your feelings. But the other, it's because like it's fun because in these stories, like when one person is like speaking kind of obliquely about how they feel, everyone else in the room understands what's going on as well, right? Like so it's like I'm like, this tea is cold, and the other person's like, damn, they just insulted me, right? So it's like it's a language that everyone understands, and that is really fun. To kind of like talk in circles while like seriously, being like, "Oh, my feelings." So that's a tonal part of this game. Now, in terms of magic, the default magic level for Hearts of Wulin games is low magic. So aside from like the physics defying skills that you will all have, um, like for example, you will have what I am assuming is called inner power. It's such a cheesy transliteration, but it's like where you have like this or like some would call it chi to like sometimes you like huh and you'd like attack someone and then like the wall like falls apart behind them, that kind of thing. But there's not a lot of magic otherwise. There's no ghosts and no magicians and or like uh magical ceremonies, but we could have that. So I'm giving y'all's the option to choose another one. No doubles. You could have doubles. um so what do y'all think? We can go around to say like if you want magic or not. So Chris, what do you think?
I'm kind of partial to like the hint that maybe there might be, or there's somebody out there that believes it, but maybe we don't see like really magic stuff on screen. Like that's that sort of thing. Like there's a suggestion, like there's we think this villain is consorting with a dark sorcerer, but you never actually see the dark sorcerer throw stuff at you. It's always just like rumor and circumstance and things like that.
Okay. What about everyone else? Sorry, um yeah, Eduardo, like magic.
No, I'm with Chris. I think I like the idea of, I mean, I might call it mysticism. It's sort of like the mystery of, you know, um, the supernatural. But I totally get what you're saying, that we're not sort of like, ooh, Harry Potter, fixing things, and you know what I mean. It like it keeps the weird weird. Does that make sense? Is that a good way of putting it?
That's totally fair. Yeah. I see Joshua and Kurt nodding as well. So I think maybe this is the level that we want to stay at.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I really like when the characters believe in magic because it allows superstition, but it doesn't mean that the magic exists.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I just like that nobody can like cast spells, but I'm totally cool with there being mystical elements. I just don't want to see a bunch of like, we're not wizards or anything like that.
You don't want spell slinging sorcerers in your wuxia game?
Nah.
Okay, that's totally fair. And there will not be ghosts, but we can have characters who believe in ghosts, is what we're saying. Okay, cool. That is low magic. Cool. Um, Sounds good. And then now we're gonna do lines and veils. So, oh, actually, no. I'm gonna talk about the safety tools that we're using for this game. So we're using the open door policy, the X card, and lines and veils. And I'm just gonna briefly go through them to explain what they are. So the open door policy is kind of how it sounds, which is that the metaphorical door to our metaphorical table is always open. So if at any point you're like, I gotta dip, like I need to leave, um, anytime if you need to go to the washroom, you can just go. You don't need to like wait for a break, which is, you also could, but you don't have to. I'm giving explicit permission for you to not do that. Or if you're like, oh, my kid's crying, I need to just go. Like that's totally fine. Like all of these things are fine. Or if you're like, I feel very emotionally overwhelmed and I just need to, or like whatever content comes up and I'm just like, I need to take a break, or if you're like, I'm too tired, so I just need to like leave. That's really cool too. Just like message me to let me know that you're not coming back, so that we're not all worried for you. So that's the open door policy, and the X card is another thing that we're using. It's so the X card. How we're gonna use it is you can say I'm an X card that, or you can type that into the chat, and then you can accompany it with a hand gesture. All of these can work. And it's basically for any kind of content that you want to not be in the game. And it can also work for like tonal things. If you're like, this really is like really drastically different from the tone that we were going for, and I'm not into it, you can also discard that. I feel like this is a table where we can all trust each other, so I leave it to y'all's discretion for that option. And the way that you would respond if you were to be X-carded by another person is you would clarify what it is that's being X-carded. Thank the person for making this a safe table, and then take whatever was X-carded out of the game, change it possibly, and move on. No one is ever required to offer an explanation. You can discuss things if you want, but this is not a requirement. So I really want to emphasize that. And also, if you've been X-carded, do not explain yourself. Do not explain why you decided to X-card the person, because a lot of times that's like a social cue for the other person to do emotional labor for you, to be like, oh yeah, no, I understand why you decided to do that. You're not a racist person. Like I get it, which is the opposite of what we want in terms of like maintaining a safe space and a safe table. Again, just thank the person. That's always the best response. And then the third thing that we're using is lines and veils. That's the third safety tool. And lines are things that we don't want in the game. We don't want it to have happened to anyone. We don't want any mentions of it. And then veils are things that can exist in the game, but are never on screen. So we can talk about what we want as lines. I can start. One of the lines that I always go for is a line on sexual assault and also sexual coercion. Anyone else?
My other line, other than the one you already mentioned, is child abuse. I don't want to see that.
So this covers the gamut, right? Of like sexual abuse, physical abuse, and then also neglect.
Neglect, probably okay. I can that, but it's the other stuff that's really a problem for me. So
okay, I mean, it's fine. We can just have it as a line. We don't. It probably wouldn't come up anyway in this game, but it's fine to just leave it as a line and not have any of those things. Anybody else? Okay. Actually, I will add to it. I'm gonna veil gore. This is a game where you play martial artists, so there's going to be violence for sure. But I think we can keep it keep the description of it to maybe more on like the dramatic side and less so on the bloody side. So we can still describe like, yes, like this person runs their sword through me and I'm clutching it and stumbling back and making this speech, but we don't have to describe like so much of your like guts spilling out and stuff like that. So that is the veil for me. And this is a living list, which means that at any time, especially if it's like, if you know someone is like X-carding something, then we can add things to this list. Or if you think of something later, we can always add to it.
I'd
Those lines
probably
and veils. Oh, go ahead.
I'd probably add a veil for like explicit sexual content, like Like once you're in the bedroom, it's kind of like we know what's happening in there.
Right. Veiled. And this is on a tab of the character keeper as well. I'm going to put it closer to the end. So if at any point, we can always refer back to it. All right. Okay. Now that we have all of that, let's get into character creation. Oh man, I need to learn to shorten this spiel at some point. If y'all click CC1 basics, you can start excuse me, choosing your look and appearance. There's appearance, like the appearances are just suggestions. Like you don't need to. There's not like a pick a face, pick a hair, pick an outfit. Like that's not. It's just anything that is kind of like giving you a brief guideline of what you might want to look like. I also have a Pinterest page, Pinterest board that I will link y'all if you care. I have been accused of having too pretty of people, but I maintain that it is not my fault, and it is in fact Pinterest's fault because they like to skew on the pretty and the young. Again, take no responsibility for it. Yeah, so definitely pick like appearance and dress, and I'm going to move factions and names a little further up so that everyone can get easier access to it. So there are like suggestions for names, and if you need like pronunciation help, just let me know. I can help you with that.
This is the great radio portion.
Totally.
Can I toss out a question?
Yeah, of course.
I I guess I was just wondering if anyone has any preferences. I mean, is like thinking about anything in particular.
Oh, are you
Um,
looking at playbooks?
I'm skipping ahead. I know.
Eduardo, killing me.
So hard not to.
It is hard not to. I mean, wow, they. I'm afraid to say that I guess I'm doing it backwards. It's like I look at the playbook and that helps define, the look, style, etc.
That's fair. Here's the link to the Pinterest board. Yeah, like definitely just say what you're thinking of, or do you not have?
I'm kind of leaning toward the Bravo if nobody else has something that they're really got a great idea for on that tack.
That's also where my head was at, but I'm flexible, so
If you both want the same playbook, that's actually okay as long as you choose a different background. So if you see under each tab, no, not tab, under each column, there's like, so for example, Bravo, under that there's pick one, and you can pick favorite, eldest, Gallivant, or thief. If you choose a different background and you just choose different moves, that's fine.
I could probably go student or outsider too, so those would be fine for me also. So if you want Bravo, I don't mind.
Cool.
Thanks.
I don't suppose. Is anyone thinking of either the unorthodox or the aware?
I was thinking about the aware.
Okay. I'm so agnostic on this. I'm happy to go with the unorthodox if you're thinking of the aware.
Yeah, that's totally fine with me. I don't have a huge preference on the playbook, honestly, but the one game I have played of this, I was the unorthodox, so I just wanted to try something other than that one.
Sure.
Okay, so if you've picked your playbook and you've chosen your background, um, copy and paste the background under moves as well, because there's like kind of like a move associated with each background. So make sure you put that under moves along with your other moves that you choose.
Okay, I found my picture in this Pinterest board.
Great. There's an image tab, images tab.
So many good pictures. This is like impossible.
Thank you. I will admit I spent a lot of time on Pinterest.
All right, that's my dude.
Do you have a name as well?
No, not yet. I'm still working on it.
Cool. Yes, I love that photo.
So on this chart here, so other names, that's like titles, right? Like those are like titles your character might have.
Sure. Yeah, you can choose either. So whatever it is you want people to call your character. Yeah. So in terms of other names, they could be titles, but that could be all everyone calls you.
Cool.
A particular favorite of mine is Sour Sadness Bear, and also Number One Scholar.
Number one scholar is very funny. I think I'm gonna go with Gentleman Bao Yin.
Okay, that sounds good.
And then
And
the
we'll come up with faction later.
oh, okay.
Um, hold on. Oh no. So if you have your actually, I'm going to see where everyone is at. Make sure that you put after your character name what gender pronouns you're going to be using.
My name is too long. The pronouns are under the faction.
Okay,
But I'll put them first. That way you can see it.
that's okay. I can. There we go. Okay, so if everyone has their names, and then you can write a bit of your looks in as well. Okay. I'm gonna wait, and then I'm gonna explain how like rolling works, and then the elements. But okay, okay. Um, so I'm gonna just explain the elements and the way that moves work in this game. So how how you roll? This is PPTA. So you roll two d6, all that jazz. But which stat you roll with, and the stats in this game are called elements. And you see there's earth, fire, metal, water, and wood. Is you just choose whichever one, and you see there's like adjectives associated with each of them. Look, when you're rolling, you'll be like, okay, this is what my character is feeling right now. Or you can say, okay, this is what my character wants to do. Um, and then you see which of the elements matches that action, and then you'll roll with that stat. And the the only exception to that is if you're doing combat, in which case you will always roll with your style element, and the style element is the element associated with your fighting style. You will find a style name, or make a style name, and that goes. You'll just replace the word style name on your column with it, and then you'll also replace the word element with your style element of your choice. And there are different stat arrays that you can choose from on CC1 Basics. Um, yes, and that is how it generally works. Don't so the way that sometimes when you roll and you either fail the roll or the move calls for it, you will be told to mark the element, and when it's marked, that means that you can't use it. So that's how it is. Your style element should always be your highest element. That's another thing to keep in mind. And there are a lot of example names on the names and factions tab for your style. And then in terms of weapons, definitely choose one. A lot of people like to use unusual weapons, and that is totally doable.
One of these styles is taunt the monkey. Oh, taunt of the monkey.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's good style.
And we just pick an element, and that's the element that matches our style.
Yes. Yeah. And then make sure again when you're assigning the stat arrays that your stat element is the highest or one of the highest that you have. Joshua, I like that for your character, it's the style is shooting stars, and then your weapon is knives. That's very awesome. Into it.
Yeah, I almost changed my name to the what was it? Oh, Perfected Starfall, just to tie it all together.
Oh my gosh, that's pretty cool though.
I might go that route. We'll see.
I mean, I'm into it. That's pretty sick. I always sometimes when I'm like running this game and then I'm just while everyone's doing character creation, I also think about it. I'm like, oh, like what would I want as a character name? And then I'm like, I start making like a mental list as well. I should just write that down and include it in the game text. Okay. Oh. How are we doing in terms of fighting style, Eduardo?
I am just starting to think about it. I'm so behind.
No worries. Oh, there's an image link on the bottom. Don't kill. Sorry, guys, that I made y'all post in the image tab as well. Oh, this is the updated character keeper.
Oh, I can just copy the link in there?
Yeah,
Awesome.
totally. Oh my gosh. Joshua, the picture that you chose. Oh my goodness. Because that picture that character is in one of those like it's in the I guess so. It's the one of the most popular period dramas in China, and it's the one it's I don't remember what it's called, but it's the one of those where you are like you watch the story of like a concubine rising, like started from the bottom, now we here kind of story. And there are so many of those. And they're so hectic because like you're like, whoa, these people are really good at scheming, but you're also like, this is so sad because all they're doing is trying to like earn the favor of the emperor or earn the favor of the emperor basically. And they're constantly like trying to make other people like lose their babies. It's really sad, in my opinion. But it's also like really hectic where you're like, what? And this picture is based off the historical only empress that there ever existed in China.
Oh
And
wow.
this is her this is like the empress robes. So it's really amusing to me because actually it's always really amusing to me whenever I see people like choose pictures of like royalty because you can always tell by the clothes. Like a lot of times, like before it's the like Qin dynasty and a little bit onwards, it's often like black, because the one of the emperors heard that that's his color, literally, like that's like it'll bring luck. And then later on it became yellow, but you can always see like if the embroidery has dragons on it. I don't remember how many toes means that it's like only the crown prince can wear it, and then if there's like another extra talon to the dragon, then that's what the emperor wears. So this is the empress outfit that you've chosen.
That's really funny. I was just looking for an older woman, and this was the coolest looking one.
Yeah,
that I
for
found
sure.
here.
She looks awesome.
She's got killer hair, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It looks so heavy.
Yeah.
All right. Hidden path. Okay. We can start taking a look at oh, actually, I'll let y'all choose your moves. Oh. Oh my gosh, Chris, you're so fast. Sweet. We can also look at factions. So each character, you will have a faction. Again, everyone refer to the factions and names tab. There are a couple of different suggestions for the factions that you can be from. You can also make up a name. That's fine. So the names that we have. So when it says like righteous or orthodox, or unrighteous versus unorthodox factions, this is again the reputation of the school or of this of the faction. Basically, you might not necessarily actually be that kind of a person, but definitely what people know of it is what is believed to be true. And then the ambiguous one is usually like this faction is either like they're really new, so nobody knows what they're about, or they've been very mysterious. So they've like people would hear about them, but not really be sure like what they do. Maybe they keep to themselves in the mountains, or maybe they're just like nobody knows. It's not sure. And then the destroyed is, as the name implies, they are no longer. They're no longer an established faction. That doesn't mean its members can't exist, because obviously if that's your faction, then you exist. But yeah, so that's kind of a brief primer on the factions. Everyone choose one.
Is anyone taking the Frost Hearth Palace?
Take it. Just take it.
Hey, I get that. I apologize. I have got a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
You probably talked about 5-10 minutes ago.
That's fine.
So when it comes to the stats, I guess I'm hung up on the arrays.
Yes.
So it looks like there are 4 stats or 4 elements, unless I'm misreading it, but I see 5 stats.
There are 5 elements: earth, fire, metal, water, wood. Gotta scroll
Okay.
up or down.
I apologize. I knew it was probably.
That's okay. Choose a style element
Here.
first. Choose one of the elements to be your style element. So that's the one you're going to be fighting with.
Gotcha.
Because that one is always going to be one of the highest ones. So. Okay, gentlemen, Bao Yin, you're gonna be from a destroyed faction, eh?
And I'm a wanderer.
Oh, of course you are. Oh man.
I mean, why else am I just wandering around?
I guess so. That's fair. Meteor Grace Clan. This is a newer character keepers. So Lowell put in like new names and stuff for the faction. So now I'm like, oh, I don't know what these are. Okay.
Do they actually mean anything? Like, is the Frost by choosing that? Does that like are those the bad guys
Nope.
or okay?
Yeah. So yeah, these are just placeholders. But everything like the actual stories will come up in play. It's just a good idea to have about your character and also like the faction that your character belongs to, like what kind of vibe you want to start with to play off of.
Can multiple people be from the same faction?
Yes.
Because I totally want to be from the Meteor Grace clan as well. I feel like
Yeah.
it goes with my motif.
Sure. Yeah,
Are you
that's
cool with that,
fine.
Chris?
It's a righteous faction.
I mean, I have to take all men are brothers, right? So that I can appear as any faction I want.
I
Even
guess.
though I'm
I
from the
guess
fallen
so.
faction.
I didn't know that was a thing, but yes, I guess so. Eduardo, have you picked your style element?
I beg your pardon.
So,
No.
so the element that you're fighting with.
Gotcha. I see where I've skipped over that one.
It would, from what I see of your stat array, it would be either earth or metal because it should be the highest.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was thinking of going with metal. Whoops. Actually, I put you in the wrong
Perfect.
place. There we go. Excellent.
Okay. So everyone has their faction. Perfect. Also put that under bonds. Do not put it under relationship. Put it under bonds beside the faction tab. The faction column. Faction entry. And then put the bond to 1.
Is that what you mean?
I'm just gonna no, I meant the faction, but I've changed it for you. Oh, many venom sect. That means we haven't. Yeah, I guess it makes sense because you went with unorthodox. Ooh, and it's hidden. Oh, I'm very excited already. Okay. Okay, so it seems like we all have. Great. Let's actually take a brief break. Let's take a let's take a 5, and then when we come back, we're gonna start doing our entanglements, which are uh, basically the histories between your characters. So it'll be for each of these, they have like 2 spaces to fill in these sentences, and then one of them has to be to a PC, and the other one can also be a PC or an NPC. But you can start taking a look at them. Everyone will need a general and a romantic entanglement. And there are suggestions for each playbook, but you don't have to go with them. If you want to be free and choose whatever you want, then you can do that. They're just like a little further right on the entanglements tab. But yeah, let's take about 5, and then when we come back, we'll start getting into the entanglements. So let's come back at 20 after. Chris, you are so fast.
I just finished playing in Lowell's version, so I had all this stuff bubbling around my head already. Like it's been going for the whole past month. So
fair enough.
Yeah, Chris and I just finished Hearts of Wulin together, so it's like still fresh, very fresh.
And Agatha, do you have any happy pictures of people from Wuxia stuff? Because everybody just looks so sad and grim in like every picture I can find. I'm like trying to find like a big happy guy, and it is really tricky.
I feel like they definitely exist, but they're not the kinds of pictures that go on Pinterest. You know what I mean? Pinterest is like, unless you're looking at wedding stuff, they're basically for like the Tumblr crowd, which is.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that normally, but I mean, gosh, I'm just looking for like a bigger, happy-looking guy.
They definitely exist in a lot of like wuxia stories.
I just can't remember any character names, or I just search for that character.
Yeah, that's true. Oh man, I need a refresher. Okay, now that everyone is back, let us. Oh wow. Okay, everyone is freaking like already on top of it. And has. We can go through them and you can suggest to other players which applies to them. So let's start with you, Chris. Since you got everything. Let's do your
my entanglements.
Yeah, okay. Either of them.
Let's see. I'm thinking that the romantic entanglement would probably be the one that makes most sense to have a player character involved in, because I don't think any of us are like local authority types, and I don't think anybody is my mentor. That
one of those has got to be a PC. So
let's see. Let's see. Well, how do I pronounce the last part of the name on this character? Because I like the many-tempered part, but I'm not sure how to.
Xiaohu.
Xiaohu. Okay.
Yeah.
Xiaohu is a basically a big happy guy that drinks a lot and likes to dress up. So, is there anybody that would want to go on record as like being his mentor among the other player characters?
Can I just say, first of all, how much I love that you picked that name? Because a lot of these names that have like pinyin in them, pinyin, I think of what it may associate with in my head in terms of like what characters they could be. And when I saw Xiaohu, I immediately thought, oh, like small tiger. And then I love that you picked that, and you're like big happy guy. That's so perfect.
And plus, I've never seen anybody actually use a heavy axe in like any of the wuxia stuff I've seen so far. But I haven't seen very much, so I like that idea. So I was like, it's got to be a big guy if he's going to swing around a big axe. So
that's awesome. Yeah. So does anyone want to be Xiaohu's mentor?
Since we're from the same clan, I could, and I'm a master, quote unquote.
Oh yeah, that would be perfect, actually.
Awesome. I'm down for that.
Okay. Let's see. Perfected Starfall.
Joshua, I'm glad that you went with the fiction and chose Perfected Starfall.
Yeah, I had to after that.
Let's see.
It was too perfect.
The local authority, would that be like a local magistrate? I don't want to like reach too high in the authority and like draw in any of the like higher tier stuff if since it doesn't like we want to go to that scale yet.
We could do that. We could do a magistrate.
Okay.
I just finished running a game where the big bad was a magistrate, so I'm very familiar with playing magistrates.
Okay. So
or does anyone else wonder if they feel like they could be a local authority?
Actually, I was thinking something along those lines. Yeah, I mean, I guess I was trying to come up with a you know, I guess just the backstory and the motivation. And yeah, so I feel free to use me in that role or in that capacity.
Yeah, it could oh, I'm just looking at the picture that Joshua pulled up. Yeah, so you could have it could either be a PC or an NPC. As long as you have one of them as a PC, it's fine.
Well, the entanglement here, Eduardo, and you just let me know what you think, would be the local authority hints that they know of my shady dealings against my mentor, perfected Starfall, and their family. Would that be something you'd be interested in playing around with? If not, that's cool. I've already got one PC in that mix, so I can make up somebody for that.
Yeah, I guess what I'm still sort of struggling with is sort of the nature of the hidden. You know, like hidden to whom? You know, would it be hidden to the PCs, or is that just like an unnecessary complication?
Oh no, you could be like a local authority figure, and your true nature be hidden because you're a member of that evil sect thing.
Yeah, like you could.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So what could be hidden is, well, definitely your martial skills. So it could be just this normal magistrate guy. What is martial arts? Or you could be just another normal other kind of person. It's up to you.
You know, since I'm still trying to figure this out, I think maybe it's easier if you put an NPC in that role, Chris.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea, which I can totally see what you guys are saying about like cataloging these ideas for future use.
Yeah. Okay. So local authority. I'll come back to you, Chris, for a name.
Okay. Well, I think I've got one. How about harmonious? Oh, we already got a falcon. How about harmonious owl?
Sounds good.
Sounds magistrate-y to me.
We have a falcon? We do?
I think I could have sworn I heard. Oh wait, no, you changed. Eduardo changed to Graven Hunter. I think he started out as Peerless Falcon.
That is correct. Yeah, it's like during the break, I was thinking again about the backstory and went on a different direction.
Well, I'm glad you picked a different name because that was my evil mentor in the last game, so that would have been awkward.
And now this time you are doing something shady against Perfectus Starfall and their family, which I feel like is the extra snake kind of part of it.
But he's so good natured. No one would ever think that.
Wow, so evil, so good. Okay,
so
Eduardo, do you have yeah, let's do one entanglement at a time. So Eduardo, do you have one? Well, I see you have both. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess part of the reason I was hung up, you know, and why I changed the name during the break was, you know, I can't help but make connections with other, you know, films and I, you know, sort of really like that idea of just sort of, you know, sort of this build up to seeking revenge, and I guess it's the general entanglement. I suspect my friend's parent is the villain blank. And I guess is it pretty much the same process? I mean, I can either throw this out to one of the other players or plug in NPC.
Okay, so both of your romantic and your general are about the specific plot line, which would mean that they would be the same, right? Or no? Because or someone else would have to be related to that family as well then. So you can love, right? So like your friend whose parent is the villain, then someone else that you love, you have also sworn revenge against their family member, or I guess they could be different. I guess never mind. I just looked at them and I thought they were the same person.
Okay,
but I guess they don't have to be. Up to you.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking that they would be different.
Okay,
if
totally
only
cool.
just to have more flexibility. Is that cool?
Yeah, totally.
So then I guess is the question still out there is, I mean, correct? Does someone want to sort of slot into that
Does someone wants
entanglement?
their parent to be a villain?
I could have my parent be a villain. One of my that might work with my general thing.
Ooh, so your parent is a villain, and you're in the
I'm
Foster's
hiding my true
palace.
identity.
Oh,
Cool.
and you're. Oh, this is really good because your faction has also been destroyed, and maybe it was destroyed because everyone thought your parent was a villain.
Yeah, I like that.
That's so wonderfully awkward. Um, I I'm gonna Kurt. I'm gonna get you to pick a name for Baoyin's parents.
Okay, so let me look at
Parent.
this name tab again so I can
Yeah,
pull
definitely.
something here. Let's make it. So I kind of want it to be like the multi like two names or several names, but I like Fang as part of it. What would be a good what would be a good like secondary name on that? Like
Oh, so like the many tempered kind of thing, or gentleman, and so on.
Feng Shi or like what
Oh,
like that
oh,
kind of name.
oh. Hold on. Let me just look at it.
I'm just not sure how Chinese names are structured.
Yeah, totally. Is it Feng?
Yeah, Feng
Okay,
is one of the
yeah,
female first names.
yeah. Feng is pronounced feng.
Feng, sorry.
That's okay. Um, feng. Yeah, it could be. Mm, mm, Dongfeng, like
Okay.
Dong,
Okay.
like the eastern wind.
Nice. Okay.
D-
All right. So say that one more time for me.
Dongfeng.
Okay. All right. So my mom's name is Dong Feng. Hope I said it right.
Yes, you did. It was very good.
All right.
Great.
So where's notes?
Yes, you spelled it right.
Place for notes.
I would put it under story. For yourself.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so we have one. Let's go to Perfectus Starfall.
Okay, so I'm gonna do the romantic one first because I think that I love question mark. I'll leave that open in case someone wants to be loved. But my family member, mini tempered. How do you pronounce your name, Chris? Apologies.
Xiaohu? Is that right? Did I get that right? Okay. Xiaohu.
Okay, yeah, but my family member, mini tempered Jahu, has been accused of a crime by them. So I'm thinking this could be an NPC like a local magistrate or something. But I'm also happy for it to be one of the other PCs.
Okay, I just want to clarify something. So one of Xiaohu's many tempered Xiaohu's entanglements is that they have shady dealings against Perfected Starfall, which is you and your family. But you're saying that they are also. You're saying that Xiaohu is also your family?
That's a good point. That could get twisted.
It's totally fine. I just wanted to make sure.
Maybe if it's okay for me to change it, maybe I will change it to but my clan member has been accused of a crime by them.
Okay. What do you think about that, Xiaohu?
That sounds fine. I mean, it could be like a faction, like the faction thing.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
that's how that not a familiar relation, but a membership type thing.
Yeah. I mean, if the name is clan, it probably means that you could be very, very distant relatives. but to the point where you're united by the clan, but not by your familial ties, I suppose.
Yeah, I think I like the feel of that. And are you okay with that for your character?
Oh yeah, yeah, that's cool.
So
like
did you want the person that that Perfect Starfall is in love with to be another PC or an NPC?
I'm fine either way. I don't want to put myself in love with one of the other PCs without their permission, obviously. But well, I guess it could be unrequited love, but I still feel like it'd be better if that was.
Okay, so does anyone want for someone to be in love with them?
I'm also fine with it being an NPC.
I have a love triangle as my romantic one, so I'm gonna need 2 people for this love situation. So I could probably get in on this. What was the text of yours again?
I love blank, but my clan member, Many-Tempered Xiaohu, has been accused of a crime by them. So if you
Okay.
wandered into town and accused them of a crime,
So let's see. So you love blank, but your love interest said that they. Well, actually, I think I'm their friend. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm Graven Hunter's friend. So yeah, I can accuse many tempered Yahoo of of a crime.
perfect.
Oh, so you must be friends with Harmonious Owl then, or at least you're on the same side because Harmonious Owl is also like very Shahu was very suspicious. Shahu, you're not very good at keeping your actions on the down low.
They can't prove anything, and they're too scared of the family to really say much.
Ooh, that's true. Okay, that's so great. Yeah, let's go to you, gentleman Baoyin. I also
All
really
right.
like this name. It sounds like it's Kanto.
I love it too. Yeah. Okay. So and he's also like real shabby. Like he is not he does not look like a gentleman at all. Okay. So you love Gentleman Bao Yin. My romantic one is I rejected blank, but blank who I desire loves them, which means I have to have rejected someone, and the person I likes them. So we're getting in a triangle here, or a circle. So I will have rejected the perfected starfall, if that's okay. And then we'll put an NPC maybe as the person I like who likes perfected starfall. Does that
Oh,
sound good with everybody?
Yeah, that's perfectly fine with me.
yeah. Unless Graven Hunter wants to, I don't know. Unless
Does
you
anybody
want,
else want to get in on this love triangle?
yeah.
I mean, I'm cool with that. You know, I'm
Well,
still sort of just like absorbing everything. I
yeah,
have to
so
admit.
we're friends. At least that's your view towards me. This would mean that I actually love you.
Hmm.
And then you would have to love Perfected Starfall.
Yeah.
Right. Wow.
So we could also put an NPC in that role if we want.
Yeah, you could. And it could, I'm just thinking about Eduardo, your entanglements,
Yeah.
because if you love, I mean, yeah, totally, just be free to do what you want, and we can put an NPC there as well. But then you could have you could be swearing revenge against someone who's a part of the Meteor Grace clan. Who knows? Who knows?
So who loves perfected starfall? Do we think it's an NPC or do you want to take it?
Yeah, no, I think I can certainly do that. Yes. I guess I'm trying to just do the math, and I'm sorry, Agatha, you probably know the answer. Like, how many of these do we have to appear in? Like as a minimum of one, or does the math sort of work out that we are in like 2 or 3 of these?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Okay,
Yeah,
I might
but
not be worried about
yeah.
something that actually matters then.
Yeah, it doesn't, as long as each one of the entanglements includes another PC, then that's good. And usually this will mean that everyone should be covered in either the general or the romantic at least once.
Cool.
So that's a yes or no? Okay, cool.
Yep, I'm good.
Graven Hunter. And then can I clarify something on your Graven Hunter's entanglement about my mom? My mother's name is Dongfeng. Is it that you suspect that Dongfeng is some villain, or that
Oh.
you suspect, right? Like the
Oh,
many
snap.
the raging storm, right? That but
I'm
nobody
so
knows who it
sorry.
is.
Yeah, I just realized that if Gentleman Oh, yeah, if Graven Hunter, one of yours is already on Gentleman Rebellion, then the other one, it's better if it's not about the same PC as well, because then that way, if you have more connections to different PCs, it'll that means that there's more
I see.
variety of scenes that you can be in. I'm so sorry, I didn't notice that.
I'm just catching up with you.
Yeah, so maybe I think it is, yeah, sorry about that, Kurt, but I think it's probably better if we put,
An NPC.
an NPC in Who You Desire instead of Graven Hunter,
Okay.
just because it's better.
Yeah. So is that an NPC that I would create, or do you want to bring
You
that
can
one in? Or
you can create it. I leave all of the work to all of you.
I'm just gonna put some
There-
X's there, and I'll fill it in, and we'll
Great.
figure that out. But we didn't answer the mom villain question. Is it that my mom was actually is the villain, and and nobody knows if I'm her son, or is it that everybody knows that she's my mom, but we don't know if she's the villain?
I kind of like the latter.
She's the emperor, right? But nobody actually knows who the emperor is, or like Darth Vader, who's behind the mask, kind of thing. Like the villain is another name, and you think my mom is that villain, but it's not confirmed.
Yes, yeah, because that sort of fits into this idea, at least that I had percolating, of why am I hidden? Perhaps I am the only one who knows, and so I've got to go spy or take on this sort of alter ego to, yeah.
Yeah,
Does that
or
sound good? Sorry, go ahead, Agatha.
yeah, and also your faction is an unrighteous faction. So that's a very interesting thing where you're like they're a villain, and perhaps you've seen like the darker side of the Froster's Palace. Yeah, that's really cool. I'm actually gonna get you then. I'm gonna get you Graven Hunter to come up with like the alter ego that you suspect Dongfeng is.
Yeah.
That was a great question. Okay. Well, that's happening. Many tempered Xiaohu. Let's hear your other entanglement.
Okay. The romantic entanglement is I am engaged to blank but have fallen in love with their sibling blank. Does anybody want to get involved in any of those, either one of those spots? Let's see, hearing none, I'll pick a couple of names out of the hat.
Well, are you asking for who you're in love with, or are you asking for who you're engaged to?
Oh, either of those.
One of those has to be a PC, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we were engaged because of some kind of arranged marriage in our clan, that could make sense.
It would also make my evil plotting against your family much more understandable.
That's true.
Especially if I'm secretly in love with your sibling, who we'll have to come up with a name for.
Right. I think that works.
Okay.
Okay.
But we,
But it's better if your entanglements, so if each of them would
have different people.
reach to a different PC.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I like that story, but just in case, this is also just in case like people can't make it to another game, to another session, then you don't want your entanglement to always be
Gotcha.
tied to one person. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
I really like that idea though, but it's just
Let's see. It's like let's see. I'm not sure how it would work out. Let's see. Because both of the because my character is like the Bravo favorite eldest. So I'm trying to think if something would work out with either of the other two characters, since they're both like outsiders or hidden folks.
Yeah, that's pretty tough. I'm actually probably going to be pretending to be part of another faction. So if you if you want, I could be one of those as my alter, like my adopted identity, because then it would make more sense that we would be
But then we've got
betrothed. But then we'd have to flesh out this family that I am.
yeah,
in.
the sibling part is a little tricky.
I mean, I could be the sibling. Wait, fall in love with. Oh, you fall in love with the sibling. Okay, no, I don't.
Right.
Yeah, but I accused you of a crime.
That doesn't mean I can't fall in love with you.
That's true.
You know how twisted this stuff is. This is like a soap opera plus kung fu. I mean, come on.
Maybe that's why I accused you of a crime. I'm like, dude,
back off. Yeah, no. I mean, I could definitely see that.
yeah, and you could also you can be in love with whomever, right? That's not limited by who they appear to be. And the engagement could work too. I feel like you could have been engaged to Gentleman Bobby like before Foster's Palace like fell apart. So the engagement still holds, and because if you make a promise, you have to stick to it.
Yes.
That's a thing. But you don't have to. Or you could be engaged to Gentleman Bowing's sibling, and that still is a binding oath, right?
Gotcha.
So,
which one would you prefer to be in there?
Be the one you're engaged to, but we haven't met.
That would work out.
Okay, because my next one is that I'm hiding my true identity from someone, and it's going to be you. So you don't know that I'm the one you're engaged to.
Gotcha.
Oh.
So okay, and well, who would your sibling be?
We need to make that up then.
Yes. Let's see. I love Dancer of Loss. I think that's a really cool name. If you're okay with that.
Done.
Okay, I'm just gonna wait on that name. So you're engaged to Gentleman Bobby, but you're in love with your sibling Dancer of Loss. So what is the gender pronoun of Dancer of Loss? And I'm gonna ask Gentleman Bobby for that.
Well, I mean, I'm totally okay either way, whatever Chris wants for their character. But like, I was thinking sister when we talked about it, but either way is fine.
Okay, Mini Tempered Shahu. What do you think?
That sister's cool with me.
Sister. All right.
That also goes in with the Xiaohu's mini tempered name. So
cool. I'm gonna start looking for pictures. All right. Graven Hunter. Let's hear your other entanglement. Your romantic one.
Sure. So I am, or it says, I love blank, but I have sworn revenge against their family member blank. So, I mean, this is where I had started thinking that, I love Perfected Starfall, right? I mean, but I think we kind of rejected that one because I think it would have wrapped me up too much with Gentleman Bow-Yin.
Um, what's that? No, you can still love Perfected Starfall. But it was just but it was just that someone else is also in love with Perfected Starfall. It's as long as because you don't have another one. You don't have your other entanglement isn't pointed towards Perfected Starfall. Perfected Starfall could just be really popular. That's not an issue.
Sure, sure. Oh, I thought it was more that um, that with General Bao-Yin, that it was where I guess they've currently got the triple, the blank, because I also at the same time was trying to kill General Bao-Yin's or suspecting General Bao-Yin's
Oh, right.
mother of the of the villain, Villainy. Man. Well, I don't know if anyone wants to slot in, or if I can go ahead and move forward with Starfall, and then let Starfall suggest the family member whom I want to seek revenge against.
I don't have anyone else in love with me, so I'm totally fine with that at the moment. I think, yeah, I've been rejected by Gentleman Bao-Yin, but there's no other romance.
Cool.
There's an NPC who is in love with you.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's true. That we haven't discovered.
We will have a name very soon.
As far as swearing revenge against their family member, I mean, you could pick many-tempered Xiaohu, but we could also pick an NPC. It sounds like our clan is fairly large, the Meteor Grace clan.
Yeah, and who doesn't hate many-tempered Xiaohu right now? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
This could also work with Perfected Starfall, your general one, right? Where you're like my friend so and so suspects family member of evil, but I remain steadfastly loyal. Could be.
Yeah. So I think I'm definitely gonna have, or I was thinking of someone suspecting Graven Hunter of evil. I think is the best way for that to work out.
So are you suggesting that we have the same person, your friend, suspect me of evil, whom I have sworn revenge against?
So twisted.
I know.
Wait, sorry. Can you just repeat that? Who is suspected of evil?
So you go ahead. I beg your pardon.
So my general one, Graven Hunter is going to go either as my friend or the one I suspect of evil. In my two blanks.
Oh, snap.
So I'm not sure if I'm going to friend card Graven Hunter or if
evil card.
Yeah.
Might I suggest?
Yeah.
I love the idea of you perceiving, or you believing, or it's your friend who suspects me of evil. And could that, is this too much of a stretch for that friend to be the person I've sworn revenge against? I guess it says your family member though.
I mean, I think we could consider that to be friend, family. I don't know that it has to be like spot on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm totally cool with it being the same person. I like the tightly woven web that we've got here.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can totally change it. To either one of you can change to the others. So one of you can. So if you want Perfect Starfall, you can change it to my family member, or the other way around.
Since we're already doing so much with Meteor Grace clan, I think I would like it if it was
a friend.
If it was a friend.
Okay.
I can change mine.
Okay. So you have sworn revenge against their friend. Okay. Oh, who's the friend? Hmm. Um, Perfectus Starfall, since it's your friend, let's get you to come up with a name.
Okay. I'm very tempted to do Sour Sadness Bear, but I think that's too much.
But Sour Sadness Bear!
I love Sour Sadness Bear so much.
Please do it.
Okay, we'll do it. We're gonna do Sour Sadness Bear. Because that's the greatest name. And it kind of fits the bill in this case. They have a very sad role to play.
Yeah. Okay, so do we have everyone's? We have all the entanglements. Okay, great.
So I actually put many tempered Xiaohu as both. I need
Xiaohu.
to. I don't know if that's okay, because I've hidden my true identity from many tempered Xiaohu because of my past with many tempered Xiaohu, because I'm betrothed to them, or they are betrothed to me.
Oh,
I don't
no,
know.
let's put someone else in there.
Okay, so maybe it could be the person that like did the arranging.
I think what could be very interesting is if you were even okay, so you want to hide your identity from any temporary Xiaohu.
Because we're engaged basically.
Yeah.
Even though my faction has fallen, and apparently neither of us want to keep hold that up.
It could also be very interesting if you were to change that to you have hidden your true identity from Desert Star because of your past with many temper Xiaohu. And that doesn't mean that you're not also keeping your identity from many temper Xiaohu, but it could be a way for you to make this
Right, because then it'll put some
entanglement
strain on that as well.
even more interesting.
Right. Oh, that makes sense. I like that. Okay, cool. We're gonna need to like mind map all this.
Yes. Yeah, I usually like draw this out, but then I realized that well, I might do it anyway. I just don't have a pen with me. Okay. All right, so I think we have all the entanglements. I also forgot to get everyone to introduce their characters. Joke's on me. So let's do that now. Yeah, let's do that. I want you to introduce your character, your faction, what you look like, literally everything that is on your column. Okay, so like I want to hear about your fighting style. I want to hear about I want you to repeat your entanglements, and then I also want to hear everyone's moves. But before that, why don't we pick another piece? Each person choose another PC as your other bond. And I'm actually going to briefly explain how bonds work. So bonds in this game, you can spend the bond or burn the bond. I think that is the right terminology. To add one to your roll. Excuse me. And what that means is not necessarily like if you were to burn a bond, it doesn't mean that that relationship is destroyed forever. It just means that you're like using some kind of resource from that relationship. So for example, like if you're like I'm burning the bond with another PC that I have, it could be like I'm in a fight and they cover my back while I execute this like sick ass maneuver, right? So it's like it's just a resource. So everyone choose another fellow PC that makes sense to you, and then put one. Okay, so for perfectus Starfall, it's Gentleman. Aw, Gentleman Bowen. Aw, so ironic. And oh wait. Oh no,
Does
it's not ironic.
does a bond that represents a positive relationship, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh, Many Timber Xiaohu, you chose Perfectus Starfall? That's so evil of you.
We have a very good relationship as far as anybody knows, except Harmonious Owl.
Oh my gosh. Wow. You are true villain. Okay. Now that we have all of that, great. So perfect. Gentleman Volume is very popular as a friend to have a bond with. Okay. Perfectus Starfall. Let's start with you. We're just gonna go from left to right on the character keeper, and then so introduce your character, including your moves.
All right. Perfected Starfall is the current um, master of the Meteor Grace clan. She is an older woman, very regal. She's has wise eyes, graceful hair, a kind face, and dresses very well. She fights with these knives that are actually in the shape of stars, and she calls it the shooting star technique, of course. Her romantic entanglements, or her romantic entanglement is, I love Gentleman Bao Yin, but my clan member, Many-Tempered Xiaohu, has been accused of a crime by them. And then my other entanglement is that my friend Sour Sadness Bear suspects Graven Hunter of evil, but I remain steadfastly loyal. Should I go through my moves as well? I'm sorry, I missed that part.
Actually, no. I'm gonna get all of you to go through your moves after. So yeah. So actually, yeah. Let's move on to Gentleman Bao Yin.
Hello. I am Gentleman Bao Yin. I have wild eyes, wild hair, burning eyes, and a gentle face. But I wear worn and dirty clothing, as if I've just come off the road. I practice the taunt of the monkey style, and I carry a staff everywhere I go. But my close friend, Graven Hunter, we share a special bond. These romantic entanglements are too much. I have rejected perfected Starfall, but Desert Star, who I desire, loves them. And I have hidden my true identity from Desert Star because of my past with Many-Tempered Xiaohu. Pretty sure that's everything.
Yep. Okay. Awesome. And I think you can also put it in there that it's your engagement with
Yes.
Shahu. So we'll remember that.
I'll just put my engagement too.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Many Temper Shahu.
Many-Tempered Xiaohu. I have
It's
style.
Xiaohu, so it's pronounced like SH.
Okay,
Xiaohu.
sorry. Xiaohu. I have styled hair, laughing eyes, a jovial face, and he wears expensive clothes that tend toward deep colors because they show the stains of his general partying and drinking habits much less than brighter colors would. As far as anyone can prove, he's a perfectly nice fellow. His fighting style is thunder and twilight. He wields a heavy axe with it, and it involves basically a lot of sweeping strikes and making a lot of noise. So he is not quiet in any way, shape, or form. His bonds are with Perfected Starfall and the Meteor Grace clan. His entanglements are a local authority, Harmonious Fox, hints that they know of my shady dealings against my mentor, Perfected Starfall, and their family. And my romantic entanglement is I am engaged to Gentleman Bao Yin, but have fallen in love with their sibling, Dancer of Loss.
Oh, I wanted to know, what is the gender pronoun of Harmonious Owl?
Oh gosh, let's go with she her.
Cool.
Put that in. Sorry, I forgot to put that in.
Okay, awesome. Graven Hunter.
Cool. So yeah, so I am playing Graven Hunter of the Many Venoms sect. Um, piercing eyes, I guess, is perhaps his most distinct feature. Just well-cut mustache and beard, scarred. Perhaps he's got something along the cheek, or just it's not hidden. It's pretty obvious. You could see that he's been in a tussle and wears martial attire. As far as the elements go, it's a focus on metal. So controlled, calculating, always reflecting. He is expert in the saber and the sword. Bonds with Gentleman Bao Yin and with his Many Venom sect, of course. With regards to entanglements, loves perfected Starfall, but has sworn revenge against her friend Sour Sadness Bear. And I also suspect that my friend Gentleman Bao Yin's parent is the villain Dongfeng. And I think earlier you had asked who is the alter ego that I suspect Dongfeng is, and I believe Dongfeng is the Jade Serpent.
Jade Serpent. Whoa. That's
Awesome.
so metal. Okay, that's good. I'm just putting in your player agendas right now, so that's why I'm a little bit distracted. Okay. Cool. Very cool. Let's hear oh, I see that two of you have put it in already. Great. Let's hear about your moves. So this is especially so you don't need to read through all of it. I mainly really want to hear if there's like narrative cues for your moves. Because some of these like you can do it yourself, but some of them it's like I would need to help you cue those things in like the storytelling. So go I want everyone to go through your moves and then I can keep track. Yes. Okay. So yeah, let's start with you again, going in the same order. Perfectus Starfall.
All right. I don't know that there's a whole lot that is out of Perfected Starfall's hands, so to speak. But Master allows me to try to intervene in conflicts and kind of cool things off, so to speak. Final Master gives me bonuses when I try to declare a plan, and then I can get +1 forward and things like that when executing the plan.
Okay.
And then Storm Rider allows me to move anywhere within line of sight once per scene.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. These definitely. Well, I'm excited for you to declare plans. I want to know. I want to know what that could what that could impact. Okay. Gentleman Baoyin.
All right. So I am a wanderer, which means I travel from place to place. And whenever I go to a town, there's a chance that the locals will remember me. And if I roll well, then they'll owe me a debt or something like that. So
Okay.
it asks, what do I seek? I think I'm trying to clear my mother's name.
Mm.
So I'm probably like searching. I haven't figured out what I'm searching for. Maybe just clues at this point.
Okay.
Like trying to figure out who actually is the Jade Serpent.
Yeah, that's perfect. Definitely put that in that put that in there somewhere. That's very cool.
So that's why I wander. And I think I'm pretending. Oh, so the next one is all men are brothers. You may appear as one faction to those as another faction to those who don't know the truth. They accept it until proven otherwise. So I think I'm pretending to be Meteor Grace Clan, which is, and I've probably been doing this for a while. So I'll put that in there.
Okay. I'm gonna while you write that out, I'm gonna ask Perfectus Starfall, is there a identifier for the Meteor Grace clan?
I think for sure there is. I like the idea of it being these 3 lines, the ends of which are kind of offset and are little stars. So 3 falling stars, essentially.
Cool. And is this usually like embroidered onto like or do people carry like those like medallions, like wooden medallions that just has that on there and they wear it
Yeah,
on
I
their belt?
imagine. I like the idea of the medallions. That sounds super cool.
Yeah, and it, depending on how high up you are in the faction or how rich your family is, like it could be usually it would be made of wood, but for some people it could be carved out of jade, perhaps.
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
Sweet. So,
Awesome.
Gentleman Baoyin, you have one of those, right?
Yeah, I definitely have one of those medallions.
Did you steal it from someone or did you make it yourself? Or did someone give it to you?
Oh, that's the
happened.
crime I accused Many Tempered Xiaohu of. I stole it and then I blamed Xiaohu. I blamed Xiaohu for the theft.
Oh.
I accused them of a crime. So I stole someone's like fancy medallion, and then I was like they were there, and I blamed it on them.
Wow. That's what a snake. Okay.
And then my last one is House of Traps, which when when you reveal a trap you've left for someone, you can roll and like I don't know, I can trigger my trap card. So I'm
Great.
not sure
Everyone
exactly how that plays, but I kind of because of the whole taunt of the monkey fighting style, I kind of think he doesn't attack. He just waits and like counterattacks and riposts and things like that. And so I definitely think there's like he'll lay a trap and like make somebody walk into it.
Mm. Yeah, you can definitely at any moment be like, I revealed this trap, and then you can describe it, and then I'll get you to roll to see how well that trap carries out.
Awesome.
Very cool. Oh, okay. So I see. That's the That's Perfecto Starfall's entanglement, which is that they love you, but you've accused Manny Xiaohu of theft. Okay, cool. Manny Xiaohu, let's go through your moves.
Okay, the first move is favorite eldest. Basically, he's the golden child of his family. He's the one that everybody expects will ultimately end up as the one in charge. He's always got coin. He's always able to easily deal with merchants and everybody because they always presume that his family's good for it.
Okay, so you're a rich boy.
Oh yes.
Okay.
He's also his next move is Golden Knight. He has a ridiculously lavish wardrobe, and whenever he would look bedraggled or dirty, he's always clean and spotless in the next shot in either the same outfit or a new one. He gets one NPC that basically follows him around and keeps his stuff up. That is Tiger Skinned Guardian, a small fellow who is compulsively proper and manages the day-to-day affairs of Many Tempered Xiaohu.
Tiger Skinned Guardian. Your name is Xiaohu. Okay.
And his final move is "Come drink with me" because he can pretty much get anyone to come party with him if he puts his mind to it.
Okay. Yeah, I think "Come drink with me" is a very cool move, and definitely if you want to use it, just let me know if that's what you're doing in any situation.
Gotcha.
Okay, Graven Hunter.
Cool. So I guess as the hidden, he hides his martial skills, flees enemies, runs from duties, protects someone secretly. When you fight against named foes or mooks, you may hide your stance. Whoops. I apologize. I just switched the page by accident. Here it goes. They won't recognize your skill. If you win at a cost, you may offer discovery. On a miss, your opponent realizes you're unusual. And then you have a +1 ongoing to hearts and minds to convince someone that you're ordinary. Do you want me to continue reading the entire text? I'm happy to. It's
yeah, keep reading through all of this because this is useful for
okay.
other people.
Gotcha. So if another PC tries to pierce your disguise, resolve that as a PC versus PC duel. At any time, you may choose to fully reveal yourself, choose a role from a different playbook, and completely replace that move with this one. So that's really interesting.
Wait, oh. Choose a role from a different playbook and completely place. Huh. Okay. I guess that would be after you revealed yourself? Mhm.
Let's see. Yeah, just by the order of the text, that sounds right. Anytime you may choose to fully reveal yourself. Then
Yeah,
it
I'm gonna
says,
ask
yeah,
Lol about this.
choose a role
Lol.
from a different. It does. I'm with you though. That does sort of feel backwards. If I'm revealing myself, why would I then choose a different role?
Yeah.
It
That's
almost feels like
the
it should be the other way around.
so that's the role that I had last game, and
Uh-huh.
when I revealed myself, I was uh, picking a new role because that's the real me. The hidden is the disguise or whatever.
Gotcha.
So that then you get a whole new move, kind of in the middle of a scene, which can be really cool.
Gotcha.
Oh, interesting. But it says you replace that move with this one.
Yeah, so you lose hidden completely, and you get a
Yeah.
different one.
So it's replace this move with that one. That's
I,
what's confusing this
Oh
time.
yeah.
yeah.
This move with that one. Okay,
I,
I'm
I I guess philosophically, it's the fact that this is not my true role. It's whatever I'm revealing, which is
yes.
going to be somebody else's playbook or a move from another playbook. That's my true role. I
Yep.
think I understand it now.
Yeah, replace this move with that one. That would make more sense now that we've edited the wording. Perfect. Okay. And thank
Cool.
you.
Yeah. So the next one is his name is Nobody. So when you have your character walk alone into a dangerous situation you're aware of, but they are not, roll and mark XP. On a 10 plus, something alerts you before your adversaries take advantage. Get a +1 forward. On a 7 to 9, you're taken somewhat unawares. The enemy can act before you. Um, even the scale sees something, change a locale, reveal a trap, etc. On a miss, you fall into the trap or ambush. And then the third one is Everlasting Chivalry. You have a +1 ongoing when interacting with common salt of the earth folk. You know how to show them you're one of their own.
Cool. Okay. Very cool. All right. I'm gonna try to remember to have a lot of salt of the earth characters.
Yeah.
Or at least one. Okay. Um great. Let's take a 10 so I can take a look at these and then come up with a little intro bit for us to play through. So come back at 31 after.
Hey, Chris. So, since your character was engaged or is engaged to mine, but I'm pretending to be someone else, should it be a different name that you know me by?
Ooh, I hadn't thought of that. It certainly could be. Um, I would just know whatever your gosh. So if Gentleman Valiant is the assumed identity, well, I would know you by the real identity. I'll just put that in like parentheses or something.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think like it'd be. I mean, I feel like it would be strange if I was prominent enough that we were engaged. that might like I would use the same name and try to pretend to be in a different clan. So I'd probably have to. But then again, I don't know I don't know like do we have family names or is it just like your whatever your name is plus your faction as like an identifier if you're from far away? So I'm not sure if it even matters all that much. Like if you were betrothed to a Bao Yin, but you don't know me, you've never seen me, then it may not matter.
Yeah, but if you introduce yourself as Bao Yin, that would certainly like trigger something.
Yeah.
Hmm. But it might also get really confusing for everybody else though.
Yeah, if I have two names, that's what I don't want to happen is where everyone's like, "Wait, who are you?"
But that might be okay because that might only come up like if we're interacting and I'm thinking that you're that person.
Right. Oh my gosh, you're so and so.
Yes. So that would be a big revelation. I mean, in Wuxia, I think basically all disguises are perfect until someone actually like breaks through them.
Right.
So as long as you told me you were somebody else and I had never seen you before, like the disguise is always perfect.
Cool. Okay.
So what I'm gonna put in as what might be your original
what's
like
my real name?
your Frost Hearth Palace name before you went undercover, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with something close to. Well, I'm wondering if Dong Feng is like because that's just a first name, so it doesn't necessarily mean there's like a family name that would link me to Dong Feng.
Right.
But I'll pick something kind of in that sort of sounds like that.
Okay.
Sorry, what I missed?
So I was asking Chris if I should have like an old identity that his character was betrothed to, since I'm pretending to be someone else.
Hmm.
That way, I'm not just like walking around saying the name that they would know me by.
Okay.
And so I'm trying to find a name that would fit with Dong Feng because that's my mom's name. So what would be a good like what would Dong Feng name her son? Does Dong Feng mean east? Would you say eastern wind?
Yep.
So what's like
You could be Nanfeng. So just southern wind.
yeah, let's do it. NAN?
Yeah.
Okay. That's my given name.
You have so many so many extra things for identities.
Sorry.
Like, technically a part of the Froster's Palace, pretending to be the Meteor Grace clan. Now renamed yourself Gentleman Wulin. Originally Nanfeng.
Yeah.
Okay. That's great. Okay. Hold on.
Oh, here's something interesting. Does many tempered Xiaohu know what your gender was when that was arranged? Because that I don't know that if he's never met you, would he even know anything beyond simply the name he was given or that his parents were given when the betrothal was set up? And how deep does the deception go with Frost Hearth Palace is what I'm wondering.
I don't think it. I'm okay with it being that like my gender was ambiguous in the engagement.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
also okay if gentleman Bao Yin is not actually a man.
yeah, and
Oh, okay.
because this game is not set in actual historical China, so all of the like gender norms or whatever is not a thing. So y'all can be whoever in whatever relationship. Okay, so
Okay, cool.
first of all, Graven Hunter. So who okay, I see your story. You are charged with finding the villain, the Jade Serpent, and to accomplish this, you've assumed a false identity in the village and keep your true identity hidden to all. You must have a way of communicating with the many Venom sect, right? Because you've been assigned to do this.
Sure. I mean, is it too much of a trope to use, perhaps, pigeons or
No,
okay.
this is a game about tropes.
Okay.
Okay, so you've received a missive from one of these pigeons that uh, detailing an upcoming is it a party? Is it a what is it? A a retirement ceremony, a washing of hands ceremony, and it's rumored to be the retirement ceremony of the Jade Serpent. And this is like the kind of like new update that you are getting, and on there it it just says that, and then it says be there for it.
Okay, gotcha. Uh, hmm. This would require this would require, I guess, some preparation. Now, is the festival open to all? Is it public or is it by invitation only? Would I know that?
It you would assume that it's whoever is like a leader or all the different factions would probably send their representatives or leaders to come to this. And it almost feels like um yeah, that's what it would be. But it feels like it's not really like people would go to celebrate it because the J Serpent has such a terrible reputation, right? Like it seems like the fact that a Jade Serpent put out this news is almost like a challenge to all the Wulin.
Gotcha. Yeah. So
So
this is like
it's not an
public.
invite kind of thing, but it's
Gotcha.
also not public.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Um. So who? I guess I'm trying to determine like who in town would I have to engage or cozy up with so that I could, find an opportunity to go to this sort of private or semi-private festival.
Well, you know that the biggest the biggest kind of faction in this area is the Meteor Grace clan. So
And do I have any reputation, any standing with the media or the Meteor Grace clan?
I don't know. Who did you like? What kind of role did you disguise yourself as? Because you said you're just like a part of the village, right? So are you like
Yeah.
an innkeep or something, or are you like
Um,
the local um cobbler?
uh, in light of this, how about Perhaps like the local, guard or something to that effect. Perhaps
Yeah.
he has, a reputation of just sort of being, very mediocre and, uh, just affable. How about that? I mean, it's like, oh, you have to have, you have to have Bob at the party because Bob is, so much fun and he loves to drink. You know what I mean? Sort of that
Yeah.
kind of facade.
Yeah, you can be like the local watch person, like the night watch person.
Perfect.
One of those
Yeah.
people that makes patrols. Okay, so who's your friend? Okay, you're in love with Perfected Starfall. Um and
But it would be Gentleman Bao Yin who is my friend, right?
yeah,
Yep.
I mean,
Yes.
you could go whoever is the most important in the Meteor Grace clan that you know of would definitely be Perfectus Starfall. Oh, actually, or it could be Mini Tempered Xiaohu, because he's like pretty
Oh, you're
high
right.
up. He's rich AF apparently.
I didn't realize, right, in the faction. Right. So, yeah, maybe this is an opportunity to hit up Many Tempered Xiaohu
Okay, great.
and yeah, try to see if, yeah, if I can get
Okay,
invited, if I can get an in to
yeah,
the.
Mini Tempered Xiaohu. Where does where does Graven Hunter find you?
Whatever is the most expensive and ridiculously lavish inn or tavern in this particular town.
There's definitely a very classy tea house that is like expensive AF, and then they have like like the art is by a renowned artist and calligrapher, that kind of a place, and everything in there, like if you just bump into something, it's gonna cost you. That is definitely a tea house.
Yes, and he
Okay.
he will be in there drinking tea and stronger things as they become available, and
Yeah.
buying rounds for people because he's rich. That's what he does.
hmm Okay. So Graven Hunter, like you come in, and oh, do you go through the front doors, or do you? Well, I guess you have to because you're hiding your skills, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
you come in, and like the person who's kind of like at the host, I guess, they see you, and then they at first are like, and they're like, oh, Graven Hunter, what do you want?
I'm here to see Many Tempered Xiaohu. He's the life of the party. Look at him. Everyone always wants to be with Many Tempered Xiaohu.
Yeah, okay, but like, are you invited? I can't just let anyone in.
But I beg your, I beg your forgiveness and for causing this interruption, but I may I please pass?
Look, it's not on me. I need to know, like, are you? I didn't know if I didn't know that you were friends. Look, I can't just let you in. I'll be fired. You understand? So unless you have a specific business that you're you need to report or something to, look, just I can't. You're you're killing me here.
I'm
Graham
so
Hunter.
embarrassed to ask this, but I have heard that the Meteor Grace clan may have a festival, and I very badly need the work to, make sure that I can keep some grains on the table. So I
Right.
was going to hear and prostrate myself to Many Tempered Xiaohu and see if I might be able to acquire, some work serving as a guard that evening. I am so sorry to embarrass you, but please.
Yeah, he gives you like an empathetic look, but I think I'm gonna actually get you to roll hearts and minds
Okay.
to like to I think to convince him to sneak you in, because this definitely he shouldn't be doing that,
Hmm.
right?
Did you post a roll for your table link?
Roll for your party is
Party, I mean.
on the factions and names tab.
Okay.
There's a link right there. Happily generous ringtail.
There it is.
Yeah, this guy's name is Dogbone. So you gotta try to get. I mean, he's pretty empathetic towards your plight, but he's also. It took a lot of connections for him to get this job.
So this is my first ever roll for Hearts of Wulin. Can you explain how I roll?
Yes. Yes. Okay. So first of all you pick which element you're rolling with, and this could be the state of your mind, or it could be what you're trying to achieve. So whichever one applies the most.
Hmm.
And in this case, you can even roll with your style element if that's what you prefer. Let me move some of these.
You know, it's, perhaps you can guide me through this. So, on the one hand, I can see how this would require some creativity.
Mhm.
But I also see how, just basically having a very humble presence, Earth, might sort of weigh in on this.
Yeah, I think that makes sense with the Earth. Yeah, that
Okay.
sounds good with me.
So,
So then you would roll with that, and then because Dogbone is definitely a salt of the earth kind of dude, you can add another +1 to that as well.
And is it a D6? I'm sorry.
2d6.
2d6.
Yes.
And a double 4 with a +1 because we're going with the salt of the earth.
Okay, so that's 9, and then hold on. Sorry, I'm also trying to shift these tabs. Okay, so hearts and minds, and you rolled with earth, right?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm moving things around.
Oh, no worries.
Okay. And your earth is +2. Okay, so that means it's an 11 in total?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Wow, you're very convincing. Yeah, so on a 10 plus they bow to your words. And do what you want. So Dogbone is like, okay. And he's like, oh, new merchant person. Wow, it's so nice to. And he's like looking like behind him, and he's like, thank you for gracing us. And then he's like beckoning you in, and he's like kind of like blocking you with his body as he's like ushering you up the stairs. And like he's like constantly checking to make sure that his boss doesn't see him, and he's like, okay, go.
Dogbone, I'm your humble servant. I owe you. I promise.
Yes, buy me a drink later. Bye.
And so I proceed.
And you go up to the top floor of this tea house, which is the most expensive one. And it's like the more that you walk up, the quieter it gets. But then when you get near the very top, it is suddenly very loud again. And that's where you can find Xiaohu.
So can I ask, would I know, what do you think I know about Jade Serpent? I mean, would I know what, he or she looks like? I mean, how deep, I guess, do we want to make this connection?
I think, well, Jade Serpent is recognizable by, I believe, their weapon.
Okay.
So.
Gotcha.
But you're going to find Xiaohu, right?
Yes.
Okay. Xiaohu, you see Graven Hunter come up the stairs, seemingly in a rush.
Okay, and let's see. I'm pretty sure that I don't think I have any direct connection to Graven Hunter except
No, you don't. You don't really
So-
know this guy.
Yeah, so he but we're in one of the most expensive tea houses here, so obviously this individual has a reason to be up here. Obviously. They would not let just anybody up here.
No, not at all.
So Xiaohu just waves him over and says, "Come, my friend, sit down. Have some of this excellent tea."
Thank you, Xiaohu. Thank you, many-tempered Xiaohu. Your reputation as a well-mannered, friendly, and always, giving, caring host precedes you. Thank you for taking me and taking some time to see me.
Oh, think nothing of it. Of course, it is true and righteous that my reputation for goodness and truthfulness and righteousness should precede me. So tell me, now that you have spoken these kind words, what is it that you seek other than this fine tea?
I have a favor to ask, which is feels. I already sort of physically am prostrating myself. I'm sort of shrinking in front of him. It feels like a very great thing to ask of someone who I just met and who does not know me, but I have heard that there is a festival being held by the Meteor Grace clan. I don't know the details, but I am in need of opportunities. And so I'm coming to you looking for work, any way that I might be able to assist and, perhaps elevate my standing with the Meteor Grace clan.
The Meteor Grace clan is welcoming to all who seek to do good work. Tell me, what sort of work would you wish to do?
Well, as you know, I serve as the village's watchman, and I ensure that the streets and are the safest that they can be within my humble abilities. And so I'd like to offer these services, assisting with the planned festival.
Well, as I'm sure you're aware, the Meteor Grace clan normally would employ its own security personnel, but someone with local knowledge could certainly be of assistance to us.
Of course, absolutely, absolutely.
And it could certainly be of assistance to me as I assist in the planning of this. Off the books, Xiaohu has absolutely no role in planning anything. They don't trust him with that kind of responsibility. But he is perfectly willing to play this up. So, what could you offer me? What information might be pertinent to someone who is planning such a festival?
Well, I know of the finest merchants who can provide you with the most fresh ingredients for your tea festivals and for the dumplings, the meals. I know a lot of that sort of local cultural hidden knowledge that you might not know, but someone such as me who regularly walks the streets and is with the sort of the regulars, the hoi polloi, I can assist you. I can ensure that the festival is successful and that it only serves to elevate your reputation.
Perfect. I like you. Tiger Skin Guardian. Get this man's name and get the information.
Yes, sir. And Tiger Skin Guardian has been frowning massively all this time, and he's like looking between you two, and he's like, yes, sir. And he'll come up to you and get your name Graven Hunter, and then kind of like scoff, but like definitely try to get you a job. Meanwhile, Perfected Starfall, ooh. So your friend is Sour Sound and Spare. Okay. Do you think Sarasanda's bear is a part of the Meteor Grace clan or no?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, so you are I think you've who is another person in the Meteor Grace clan who has kind of like the same amount, or if not more, authority and or responsibility as you?
Um, that's a great question. Maybe um, my older sibling, either my
Mhm.
older sister or older brother, is the de facto leader, and
Okay.
maybe I'm the you know martial arts training leader of the clan, so to speak.
Okay. Yeah. Let's say you're a sibling. Uh. Wait. Perfected Starfall. So, um, maybe their name could be. Um, I guess they should also have 2 words in it. Let's see. Desert Star?
We already have a Desert Star, though, don't we?
You right. You right. Just kidding.
We could do casting blaze or
Razor Eyes Gongsun.
oh yeah, that's good too.
Razor Eyes. Yeah. So you're in. I think you're both maybe in the courtyard, and of your compound, the Meteor Grace Clan compound, and Razor Eyes Gongsun. He's kind of standing there with his hands behind his back, and you've heard about this. You've heard the news, sister.
Oh, definitely. We should speak about it at once.
Yes. What is? I have a bad feeling about this. With how what could they want?
I,
This is. Go ahead.
my first inclination is always that they're trying to sully our good name. We always have enemies from without, don't we?
Yes. Well, Jade Serpent has nothing to do with us, but the way that they've released this news of their retirement, it's it's a challenge. They're inviting us basically to go and witness them wash their hands of their crimes. I don't understand.
Which is clearly impossible for someone as renowned as them. Maybe it is a challenge, like you say, that someone comes and holds them accountable for their crimes.
Yes. And also, have you heard about what Manny Tempered Xiao is doing?
I have, but I spoke with many tempered Shahu, and I assure you, there's no truth to it whatsoever.
All right. Well, make sure you speak to him again so that in this sensitive time, we're not going to have more problems arise. His parents spoil him too much.
You were right about that, but I will speak with him. You have my
Great.
word.
All right. I will be off, and I'm sure you have your business to attend to.
Perhaps I'll have some time to train him as well. I hear he's been slacking.
It's unfortunate since he is so he would have been very, very good if he put his mind to it.
He's clearly talented, but he wastes his time on other things.
Yes, on that tea house. And Razor Eyes Gongsun just kind of like shakes his head and starts wandering off. Um, okay. We have Gentleman Baoyin. Um, where are you staying in this area?
So I've probably come. We've established that Meteor Grace clan is a very large clan, right?
Yes.
So I probably set myself up as someone from further away who's part of this clan, if that's
Yeah.
possible, or okay. So then, if there is if there's an inn or something like that that caters to specifically to maybe owned by someone in the Meteor Grace clan,
Hmm.
I would probably try to flash my newly acquired medallion and get myself a room there.
Great. Yeah. So you're coming in, and I think this is not your first time here, right?
Oh, definitely. I've been here before.
Hmm.
Um,
So I
yeah,
think
let's
it's a perfect
roll
time for you
some
to roll
dice.
wonder and see what your s- how people feel about you.
Right.
What are you rolling with? What element?
Oh, so this is I get to pick.
Yes.
Um, let's see. So this is whether or not like how things went last time I was here.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, reflection seems like if I was remembering that time,
Yeah.
but also awareness if I was going to notice someone who I like from I don't know. What did I guess I have to pick, huh?
Yes, you do.
Okay, well, I don't want to just pick the best thing. So
You can. That's fine.
yeah, I'll go with water then.
Okay. Go for
Awareness,
it.
wisdom, flexibility. I like that. Okay. So 7 on the dice, and I have a +2.
Okay, so that's a 9. Huh. On a hit, the locals remember you favorably. Okay, so you walk in here and immediately someone sees you. Um you walk in and immediately someone is like, "Oh, gentleman Baoyin." And it's Desert Star.
Oh, uh, I'll move over slowly, um, sort of taking measured steps,
Mhm.
and sidle up next to them.
Yeah, she says, "Wow, it's I did not expect to see you here. I um are you Oh, you're a part of the Meteor Grace clan?"
Oh yes, yes. Did that not? Did I not tell you that before?
N- no?
It must not have come up, I suppose.
Yeah, are you also here because of the news about the jade what is it again? Jade serpent? So, sorry, I forgot.
Oh no, I hadn't heard any news of the Jade Serpent.
Oh, well, they say that they're retiring
Oh,
and that there's going to be some kind of like a washing of the hand ceremony or something happening soon here.
oh, that's interesting. But no, no, no. I believe I was coming to see you actually.
Um. So was there a prearranged meeting or no?
No, no, not like I think I came back to town is what I
Mm.
meant. Not
Okay.
like
Right. Okay. And
funny. I
she's
should
like, "Oh,
bump into you. So
yeah, it's very awesome. It's very awesome. We last time you just kind of disappeared, so I wasn't sure if you were if you were all right, but it's good to know that you're still in one piece.
Yes, yes. I do find myself in trouble from time to time, but I did manage to make it out all right. And fortunately, my winding path led me back here, where I could see you again.
And she looks like a little bit um like puzzled, and she's like thinking back, and she's like, do I owe him money? And she's like thinking about this, and she's like, yeah,
Yeah. Uh,
yeah. Well, welcome back. The next drink's on me.
oh, excellent. But of course, I couldn't ask you to pay for my drinks. I wouldn't, I wouldn't dare. Um,
No,
is there? Sorry, I might be mixing up cultures. Is there anything about turning down gifts in?
um,
Or is that
so
just Japanese?
no, like it's sort of like, but in terms of like buying for food, this
It's
is a
fine.
very common thing that
Okay.
happens. Is like where people fight to pay for each other. Um,
Well,
I can attest that this still happens.
yeah.
So,
Oh, no, no, I couldn't. I wouldn't dare. I'll buy you a drink.
and she's like, "No, I insist." And then she like puts down some silver, and then
Very well. I'll get the next round then.
yeah, and she looks like very pleased with herself. So now everyone has news of this upcoming washing of hands ceremony that is going to be happening. We went a little bit over time. I apologize, everyone. So, do we have? Do y'all need to go? Because I want to respect your time as much as possible. But I also want to do stars and wishes. So if you don't have time, we can just stop this. But I want to know.
I'm good. I can do stars and wishes.
Okay. Okay, everyone can do it. And are y'all okay with it being on the recording, or would you prefer it be off recording instead?
On
Okay,
recording
everyone's
time with me.
okay. So then let's do that then. I'm sorry we ended on kind of like a note. I assure you, next time we will start with more. So let's do stars and wishes for this session. Hmm. We can go in the same order. So again, start with Joshua.
Yeah. Do you want to do stars and wishes together, or are we gonna do like a snake it up, where we do everyone does stars and then everyone does wishes?
Let's do everyone do stars and everyone do wishes.
Okay. Um, I'm already super excited about everyone's characters. I love the entanglements, and I love that we're also like connected. It's not just onesie twosie. I feel like everyone is involved in everyone else's storylines in some way. Um, so so yeah, I'm just super excited about that and everyone's characters getting to meet
Sweet.
each other.
Yeah, definitely. Um Actually, let's do stars and wishes together. So we can save on time. So
Okay.
if you have wishes, let's do that as well.
Yeah, I missed your initial setup with the Jade Serpent thing, so I feel like I flubbed my combo with Razor Eyes Gong Sung a little bit, but it worked out fine. Um, as far as wishes going forward, I am just excited to see, I think, all of the characters come together. I would like to see some scenes, not like every scene or anything, but I would like to see some scenes with all four of us eventually. So I'll just put that out there.
Okay. Um, great. Um, sorry, I'm typing that down. So scenes all together. Um, And who's next? Kurt?
Sure. Let's see. Definitely like that we spread the entanglements out. Some of the stories are real thick, and which always makes things super interesting. So I'm excited to see how those work. I really like many tempered Xiaohu, and I'm excited to see more scenes there. And so let's see. So it was short scenes. So stars are hard.
Yes, that's true.
But
and what's your wish?
let's see. My wish. I think I want to have. I definitely want some scenes with many tempered Xiaohu where we get to dance around the like who am I thing. And I think Graven Hunter knows who I am, so that'll be interesting if that's true. Based on their Marcus, I'm their friend, and they think my mom is a villain, so they might know who my real identity. So, and also, sorry for making my thing so complicated. So yeah, so I definitely want to get a scene with Xiaohu and Graven Hunter where my identity is a core problem.
Cool. Yeah. Scene with. Okay, hold on. Scene with Graven Hunter about identity. Okay. Yeah. Scene with. I have 2 entries for you. Scene with many tempered Xiaohu about identity. Scene with Graven Hunter about identity. Great.
Cool.
Okay, and next is Chris.
Okay, stars. I love all these characters, and I love this ridiculously overcomplicated web we've got going. I'm sure I'm going to mess up at some point and forget that I'm not supposed to know somebody's name or something like that, but that's just what makes it so much better. For wishes for next time, I'll echo what Kurt had said about kind of getting Xiaohu and Gentleman Bao Yin and Graven Hunter sort of wrapped up, and also seeing a good scolding scene with Perfected Starfall about how slack Xiaohu was being, while Xiaohu was trying to set up all this other stuff to maybe take advantage of something in this festival. So a little bit of plotting, a little bit of scolding, a little bit of identity, meshing. That'd be cool.
Okay, and I also wanted to confirm that so when y'all are talking about this festival, what are you talking about, like the washing of hands ceremony? Are we talking about the same thing?
Well, I think when Eduardo came to when Graven Hunter came to talk to me, he made it sound to me like there was a festival going on that was put on by the Meteor by my clan.
Mm-hmm.
So I just played along with that.
Yeah.
I didn't want to give the impression that I didn't know what was going on if something was actually going on.
Right.
So
that's great. Okay, so Eduardo, let's I want to confirm. So was your character talking about that washing of hands ceremony?
Yes. Yeah.
Great.
I felt that that Graven Hunter wouldn't really know the details. I mean, when you framed it like this wasn't sort of a public festival, like a public event where hundreds of people would be showing up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it just sort of seemed odd to me that he knows washing of hands. So I kind of just reframed it also as just sort of this sort of festival, held by the clan.
I love that, because you're talking about one thing, and and I think many times was definitely talking about another thing that he thinks is happening.
Gotcha.
And you think that he knows what's going on, Well, he doesn't. That's good. Okay. So what are your stars and wishes?
Oh, did you want to pop in and say something real quick?
Oh, I was just gonna add to the festival thing. Yeah, when I said I didn't know about it, my character's 100% here for that the washing hands ceremony thing, and just didn't want her to know about it.
Oh my gosh. Wow, so many layers. Everyone is lying all the time. Great. I love it. I'm glad that we've kind of like sorted through all of that. Okay, so Eduardo, your stars and wishes.
Just essentially repeating what the others have said. Stars, I mean, gosh, these characters are so complex. It's like, looking forward to sort of just digging in and, kind of just like fleshing these out and sort of, just sort of seeing where it goes. And then as far as wishes go, I would third, I guess, what Joshua said with regards to just, you could just sort of see all of these, lines kind of coming together at some point, and that would be really cool to see. Just where does this end up with, potentially having a scene pretend with everybody in it. I guess that sounds pretty cool.
Cool. Scene with everybody in it. Great. Yeah, I am very my star for this session is kind of how scheming all of the characters appear to be. If not scheming, even like Perfected Starfall is like one of the moves that you took was the planning one, right? Final Master, which is kind of like also like a schemer move, and I'm really into that. I like all of the shows that I watch are pretty much like Chinese shows are like with rife with political intrigue. So I'm really into this kind of like everyone, and I think I will lean towards more of these kind of like conspiracy theory esque plot lines because of what it seems like everyone is going with, and I'm very very excited about that. I'm so especially interested in finding out about like the whole deal with Graven Hunter. Graven Hunter seems to have a lot of baggage. um, like I need to know what's happening with Sour Santa's bear. I need to know like why many Venom sect is like sending you secretly. I'm very excited about what happens with Jade Serpent. I'm very excited to play Jade Serpent. And to have whatever I'm also very interested to see Gentleman Baoyin like find out more with Jade Serpent and then maybe have like that confrontation. That's very exciting to me. Yeah, and I want to see all of the um oh man, poor Tiger Skin Guardian. I'm very excited to see more scenes between all of you. To like especially hitting your entanglements. So next time, before we start, we're going to highlight a one particular entanglement that you want to focus on. For that session. This session, this is just like an intro thing, so we're not gonna do like experience for that. But yeah, so that's gonna be very exciting. I think that's it. I'm very excited for next time. I have if there's any scene, like I'm glad that y'all have said what scene you wanted, specifically like Kurt and Chris. But if there's any other ones that you just like want to have, tell me at the beginning of session next time, and then we'll just incorporate it into the session. So thank you again. This is the end of basically the character creation session. And tune in for next time.